have a chaperone contract and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible because we're all busy people, so we'd love to get you out of here in a timely fashion. But before we begin, we're here to praise and honor our Lord, so why don't we start with a quick word of prayer. Dear Lord, we thank you for each and every one of these kids that we have the pleasure of teaching today and yesterday and the days ahead of us. Lord, we thank you for their parents who send them and entrust them to our care. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity that we had to go on this amazing trip to Chicago and serve and learn and have a great time. Lord, all these things we ask you for, we praise you for, and we thank you for in your Son Jesus' name. And all God's people said, Amen. All right, so first thing that I would like to take a look at is your itinerary. If you take a quick glance, originally we were looking at going to Pacific Garden Mission sometime on Monday. A couple months ago, Lisa called to reconfirm with them, and they said, oh, we have a giant group coming that whole week, so we bumped you to Sunday. Oh, okay. So that's why that portion will be Sunday. So we'll head out of here on Sunday morning at 7 a.m., and that's the next change that you will notice, is we're going to leave from Spring Lake. And the reason we're going to leave from Spring Lake is there is a giant marathon happening that day, which will encircle the property of Pilgrim, as well as some of our houses. So like Darnell's, you may want to be aware, you might have to get up at 4 a.m. like me, or stay elsewhere. Because we can't get out of our neighborhood. It's literally 9th Street and Military is blocked off completely. So, or we'll walk our stuff. Just run through the runners. We'll make it interesting. So we're going to leave from Spring Lake. Address should be included on there for you. If you're unfamiliar, it's out towards the country club. But it gives us easy access to Highway 41. We will deliver the children back here Tuesday night to Pilgrim, so there's no confusion. Leave from Spring Lake, return back to Pilgrim. I would get dropped off. You probably shouldn't plan on leaving a car at Spring Lake. I would plan on being dropped off. That's a great question, because I probably need to think about that as well for myself. All right. So, Sunday we'll leave. We'll travel down to Concordia. We'll do a little church service on the bluff, more of a devotional with the kids. If they're really unruly and squirrely, we'll send them up and down the bluff a few times to wear them out before we sit in the bus again, and then we will head down to Pacific Garden Mission and get things rolling that way. We'll be there for quite a good while. We'll eat lunch there. We'll do some service things there as far as cleaning, serving food. We'll do, I believe, a little bit of a worship opportunity there. Is that right, Mrs. Ann? Yes. And then they will kind of give us a tour of the place, which is a giant facility. We'll do that all together. But we have a wonderful chaperone to student ratio of just under like 2 to 1. So that's pretty awesome. You don't get that too often, which is good, especially for a first time trip. So we'll do that, and then we will hit the Willis Tower on Sunday night, and then we will be off to Concordia to check in and get all our stuff. Kids will be paired up in twos, and they will be paired up with each other, and chaperones will be paired up and or in a single room based on numbers. We have 2 floors, but 4 pods is basically what it is. Chaperones will be placed strategically so that if there are any late night shenanigans, we will be aware. We will do things such as take the door to make sure kids aren't breaking out and trying to be fools and all that kind of fun stuff. All the things that we never tried, right, when we were younger. Nope. So we'll have little things like that. We are aware. I was a sleepwalker, so if you're worried about that for your child, my door will be open, like especially for boys, and since there's a few less guy chaperones, we'll work on that as well. We do have to plan that way. Somebody will either be at the entrance with the door open and or awake. I don't sleep well on these trips anyway, so I plan on being awake in my pod. We have an overabundance of female chaperones, so if they wanted to take shifts, we can do that as well, and we'll work all that out. Kids are like begging to know, like, who's my roommate? We're not telling them until we get to Concordia for multiple reasons. Number one, we have 17 days before the trip. And you might know that if your middle schooler doesn't like something, they will do this for the next 17 days about, voicing their displeasure. So, again, we're not putting them with somebody we want them to stay up till 3 in the morning with, necessarily. So, that's kind of our goal there. So, if they're begging you for answers, you don't have them either, because we didn't give them to you yet. We will probably email that out, though, later that day. Okay. I need an itinerary. That's all that I have memorized, so I gotta go from there. All right, on Monday, we'll be up nice and early, about 7 a.m. For those kids who are super ambitious and or unruly at night, we'll have a 5 a.m. wake-up call for a workout with Mr. Schultz. The funny thing is the kids are like, I think he's actually serious. So it's always a possibility. You just never know, right? I love that kind of hanging in the balance. Like, what is he really thinking? Oh, no. All people with the initials PA will be required to join us for this workout. All right, so we'll be up. Breakfast will be served at Concordia. That's a part of the cost already, and we'll go through. It's buffet style. My sister did this last year with her group out of Shawano, and she said that there was plenty of food. So if kids are eaters, good, eat, because we're going to move all day long. We're going to move all day long. You're going to need those calories. I'm not typically a breakfast eater, but I will probably be having breakfast both of those days, just because of you're used to sitting in a desk all day long. You're not used to walking around and observing and working all day long. So please prepare your body for some extra caloric intake. We will leave for Shed Aquarium about 8:30. We'll get there, and we have quite a few activities. We got an aquatic show that we're going to do there, and we'll do lunches probably outside. If not, they have areas we can eat inside, sitting in the big concourse. We're going to walk to Navy Pier. Yes, it's about a 3-mile walk. And if you've ever followed Mrs. Stock anywhere, she is your leader. So she's the leader, and I'm like the goalie, kicking them back into play, right? We got to keep moving. So we don't want to get separated. It's a straight shot. We're not going through a bunch of, side streets or whatever. It's one street out, 20 blocks up, one street over. It's not a difficult thing, but we're going to move. So sandals are probably not great. Your Achilles will hate you by the end of the day. Bring walking shoes. We'll get to the packing list as we go. We're going to walk to Navy Pier. We found a fun new thing. We managed to actually raise a good amount of money. So we found another fun thing that we're going to do instead of just unleashing the kids on Navy Pier for 4 hours. We're going to go do a thing called the Fun Maze. And it was a really good price. So we're kind of excited to try that out on you. And chaperones as well. So we thought it would be fun for all to indulge in these fun activities. Then we are going to go to Giordano's for dinner. We'll have pre-ordered food so that we're not sitting there waiting, because it takes about 45 minutes for them to bake one of their delicious deep dish pizzas, and we'll go from there. We will walk to Wendella Boat Tours, which is about another mile, so a lot of steps that day. And then we will take a boat tour, which is, 75 minutes? Yes, it was 75 minutes. So we'll go along the river, and it's an architectural tour, and it's a lot of fun. Relaxing time. You don't have to take notes. There will not be a quiz. So listen, enjoy, and just remember you're on a boat. So, all right, we'll go back to Concordia after that. Put some devotions, lights out. The funny thing is we took this agenda and basically just amended it from what my sister did. And so she's a big thing that says grumpy pants, so that's not me. But we don't like grumpy people, we want it to be a good time. Tuesday morning, same thing, rise and shine, load up the bus, breakfast at Concordia. We'll head to the Museum of Science and Industry. We'll be there for a number of hours. We'll eat a lunch or a snack. Kids can bring that along with them. And then we will head back from the Museum of Science and Industry about 2. We'll stop at the Des Plaines Oasis. Originally, we were going to try to stop in Milwaukee, but 40 people descending on them all at once didn't sound like a good idea. The Des Plaines Oasis, if you've never been down to Chicago, sits right over the top of the highway, and there's multiple restaurants to choose from. We thought that would be the most efficient. Kids can go, we'll have adults on either end, and then we'll send them back towards the bus, and we'll be on our way. We'll depart from there about 5:30, and we should be back to Poker about 7:30. Questions on the itinerary? That was rather quick, but any questions that you guys can think of as of right now? Yay, nay? Okay, that being said, personal experience as an 8th grader, took a trip to Washington, D.C. with my father as the leader of the trip. We took a bus down there. We're taking a tour of the Federal Reserve. We're walking through a hallway which overlooks many workers, and they say, don't touch the ceiling. There's alarms in the ceiling. Mind you, a federal marshal is giving the tour. As we're walking through, 4 of the boys in my class were over 6 feet tall and had to walk through the hallway like this to avoid hitting the alarm system. Little 5'1" Brandy decides to jump up and touch the ceiling. The federal marshal stops the tour, pulls her and my dad out of the tour. This was day 1 of our trip to Washington, D.C. Biggest regret of his life, he said, for that tour was not sending her home. Would have been an extra cost. Didn't do it, regrets doing it. That being said, I don't anticipate that from this group of kids. However, if we have a major incident, there will be a car down there. I will personally drive somebody back if needs be, or figure out a midway point. Because we're not here to be glorified babysitters, we're here to have a good time and enjoy each other's company and do a little bit of learning and service. That's what it's the main thing. Now, that being said, I don't anticipate that, but I tell you that story so that we can just at least understand that we're only 3 hours away. It's not that big of an inconvenience if it needs to happen. So, all right. Am I missing anything up to this point? No. All right, moving on. Student behavior agreement. Class trip 2017-2018. Students, you should probably look at this too and or listen carefully. Before the trip commitments, we need you to make sure you are your student first. This is the last week of school. Grades are due on the 17th, so you shouldn't be missing any work. That's kind of the main idea, right? Students first. So we want that. Mrs. Stock and I will coordinate with the rest of the middle school teachers to make sure the kids are caught up. Yes, that includes AR points, 8th grade boys. AR points, 7th grade boys. Thank you. Yes, we want those 10 points. We want those 10 points. All right, we need to make sure we're paid up completely before May 10th. We have a few bookkeeping things to do. I don't think there's many people left to pay, but we will communicate directly to you or your child, or both, if you are missing a payment. We have multiple forms, consent forms, field trip forms, medical forms. Those will need to be returned to Mrs. Stock or myself before May 10th, so that gives you about a week or so. And then, obviously, number 5, behavior and attitude, reflecting that of a mature young Christian person who makes good choices with their words and actions. Again, we took this from my sister. We're not expecting anything less than that, but again, you just never know. During trip commitments, we're looking to have a good time, bond with classmates, teachers, and chaperones. Therefore, we will actively engage in conversations and bonding with everybody. We do realize, and this is a huge point of contention from the kids, lots of questions on this, so I'm going to stop and make sure everybody's listening. Yes, they are allowed to bring their cell phones, but they can use them for 2 things: taking pictures during the day, because that's what they do with them, and contacting their parents at night to say, I love you, here's how my day was, and all that fun stuff that they wouldn't maybe do if we didn't talk to anyways, especially if they're boys, because I was just like that. That being said, social media is a no-no. We don't want that. That's not what we're there to do. We're not there to Snapchat each other and stir up drama. We're not there to Instagram everybody's photos with filters on them. That's not what we're there to do. We're there to enjoy, take pictures for memories, and contact parents. That's what the phones are for. We will be collecting them at night. They will sit in Mr. Schaefer's and my room. That's the only rooming assignment I will give away. We will have multiple plugs that we will, so bring your charger. We will plug them in at night, off, so that we don't get the awesome 3 in the morning, right? We don't want that. And then you'll get them back in the morning. So this way we know kids are sleeping, because it's just like temptation. We try to avoid it so they won't be in their rooms. Less chance of multiple rooms being up till 3 in the morning. Did I cover that okay? Mrs. Stock, Mrs. Don, was that okay? Okay. All right. Manners, number 9. We're huge on manners.
8, you missed 8.
I missed 8. Oh, yeah, how could I forget? Wait, what? They don't get their phone on the bus? How does that work? What are they going to do for 3 hours? Play games, talk to each other. Yes, just like it's 1972. I know. We can do it. So that's what we're going to do. Why? And here's why. For every dumb rule, there was somebody who made that happen. And we've, in years past, too many people have texted on a bus. This is going on, that's going on. DRA.